I'm trying to show people that help is needed now because time is running out. I don't want my kids waking up having to deal with the unimaginable.
But ultimately, he went to the courts and he got exactly what he deserved. The proof speaks for itself with the kids actually wanting to be with him and are actually troubled when they're around their mom.
If there is one thing that you can unite every nation, it is the fact that Kevin Federline has always been a greedy bastard. If this were actually about him caring about Britney Spears, then why is he writing in his book about her alleged lesbian hookup? If Britney wanted to get some nookie, Britney deserved to get some nookie.
I think he is basically one of the leeches that he's accusing have taken advantage of her in her life. Well, you're writing a book about her. You're revealing the fact that she apparently had a lesbian affair. You are one of those people that are exploiting her. He's going to gain nothing from this book.
A quarter of a century on from her first global hit, Britney Spears remains one of the most talked about celebrities in the world and one of the biggest stars of her generation. It's into that maelstrom that her ex-husband Kevin Federline steps with his controversial new memoir, You Thought You Knew. K-Fed, as he was known, says he's releasing the book because it's time to set the record straight after years of the media, blogs, strangers and exes telling his story for him, as he puts it. Some critics have a different take. One reviewer called it a vapid memoir, which is just another means to kick Britney while she's down. Well, we'll debate that in true uncensored style shortly. We'll begin by hearing from the man himself. Kevin Federline joins me now. Kevin, welcome to Uncensored.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's try and cut through all the crap around the release of the book and all the stuff, good, bad, and ugly, that's been said about it. Tell me in your own words why you wrote the book.
Well, I feel like, I've stayed silent for 20 years trying to do right as a father and raise my children outside of the spotlight or Hollywood, whatever you want to call it, while so many others have told my story. I feel like my story's been told through a different lens, and now, finally, I'm ready to tell my truth.
For those who don't know the background to this, you dated Britney for 3 months. You then got married in July 2004. You had 2 sons between you in September 2005 and then September the following year. And you had pretty much full custody of those boys going forward when the troubles set in. They're now at adult age. Was that part of your calculation too, to wait until they were adults themselves?
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure that my kids had a chance to grow and really, give them a chance at a normal life, right? As much as I possibly could, which obviously it was very difficult. And through the book, you'll find, all of the stories that led us up to this point. I was just a struggling father trying to give my kids a normal life.
It's been, I think, fair to say that you've been viewed as the bad guy in this for a long time in terms of relationship with Britney. I want to play a clip. This is from The View, the day after your divorce was announced.
Britney Spears is leaving K-Fed!
No, I don't know you. I've never met Britney, but I've got to say, I found that a pretty ugly spectacle. I don't think you'd see anything like that airing on American television now without them all getting fired. The kind of gleeful response to the breakdown of a relationship and a divorce, whatever the background, whatever was circulating in the media, that seemed to me actually pretty cruel. If you're you watching that, that's a pretty cruel thing to watch. What do you feel watching it back just now?
It hurts. I'm not going to lie to you. It hurts. And, I honestly think that even had to have hurt her, right? Because you're talking about a family being split, and that's not easy in itself. And to have that celebrated at a time where clearly she's spiraling, I fell into depression, and people were celebrating that. I mean, it's disgusting.
What is your view of the hosts of the View? for what they did that day?
Well, I don't watch them, I'll tell you that.
I mean, the cast has changed significantly since then, but it's pretty shocking watching it, I have to say. I've done The View a few times, but it's pretty shocking to watch that actually go out. This was 20 years ago.
Right. I mean, and that's it. It's like my life being told through a different lens has led to that, to all of that. And people feel like, and I think that by me staying silent, it also did the same thing, right? I think that people felt, they had the right to go and say whatever they want because they knew that I wasn't going to come out and speak up for myself.
I mean, it's interesting to see the ringleader there was Rosie O'Donnell, who's now the lead attack dog against Donald Trump, has even left the country. So she can attack him, I think, from Ireland, where she now lives. But, this is somebody who purports herself to be the kind, empathetic one, and Trump's the monster that has to be trashed all the time. When I watch her behaviour that day towards you, again, I don't know you, but whatever had led up to that, the way she did that was like a circus ringleader, circus master, basically unleashing the dogs on you through a television.
Yeah. I mean, it's horrible, right? It feels horrible being judged by somebody that doesn't even know me. But I mean, really, if you want to judge me, look at what I've done as a father. Judge me off of my children. None of my children have been in trouble with the law. None of my children have been addicted to drugs. All of my children, every single one of them, and I have 6, are really good human beings with a good head on their shoulders, and they're all falling into their own. They know who they are, and they know their identity. And that, if you want to judge me on that.
Well, I've seen the reaction about you as a father, and it's generally positive. People, whether they love you or hate you, they all concede you've been a good father. And certainly taking custody of your 2 boys when Brittany was clearly unable to be a proper parent, that's very laudable, right? I give you credit for that. I guess the flip side of all this is that that from 2008 to 2021, Brittany was put under a conservatorship, a legal arrangement, allowed her father to manage her financial affairs. And the reason for that was that she was clearly, and we see this to this day, I don't know her, but I see the videos she puts out. I see some of the stuff that circulates around Brittany. This is a mentally unstable woman. She was then, she was during, she is now. That is why she didn't have the custody of your kids. You know this better than anybody. Right. And, you've written a book which is, you're entitled to write a book. Let me just say that. You're entitled to have your say. But knowing her mental state, knowing how fragile she clearly is, I see these videos she puts out of herself dancing, and honestly, they're tragic. They're tragic things to watch. It is a woman who was the biggest pop star on the planet who is clearly continuing to battle a lot of mental health issues. And it's sad to watch, and we all feel that, I'm sure, when we see these videos. But you've written a book, you blame her for being a narcissist, for her own behaviour. You just say that she has nobody there that truly cares for. I'm sure that's right. You say that, you talk about her mental issues. You talk about her being taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in LA and placed under psychiatric hold, the toughest night of your life. You talk about the impact on your kids. You do all this stuff. And I'm just thinking, as I'm reading all this, because it's graphically told, how does this help Britney Spears? How does this not actually have an even more damaging effect on an already damaged woman, to have the intimate details of the breakdown of your relationship, the breakdown of her mental health, laid bare now in a book, and you going on a big media tour talking about all this? She has said she's had enough writing. She put a comment out on her Instagram. The constant gaslighting from my ex-husband is extremely hurtful and exhausting. She says she's felt demoralized about the fractured relationship with your boys. I've always pleaded and screamed to have a life with my boys. She says she's only seen one of her sons for 45 minutes in the past 5 years. So quite a cry from the heart there. And I guess my question for you, Kevin, is, you've been a good father. You've brought these kids up well. They've obviously relied on that. They couldn't rely on their mother. But you know how damaged Britney is. Why would you deliberately seek to pour fuel on the flames of her mental illness in the way that you have with this book? Gold is up by more than 40% in value since the beginning of this year, and today's sponsor, Birch Gold, is marking Veterans Day with a tantalising offer: buy gold, get free silver. For every $5,000 purchase from Birch Gold this month, they will send you a free silver round which commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Birch Gold helps you to own gold by converting an existing IRA or a 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. They will also waive custodial fees on the first year investments for current or former military. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, including many of you. So join them. Text my name, Piers, P-I-E-R-S, to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchases before the end of the month. Again, text my name, Piers, to 989898. Do it today.
So there's quite a few reasons, right? For one, my family and I are tired of living the lie. For two, I want my sons and my family to be able to go out and live their lives out from under all of this, you know, and get out of the shadow of this. And a major part of why I'm doing this is because we have tried everything else, and I see no other way to try and get her help. I mean, you know, everybody has been alienated from the situation. So once we've done everything, this is like my last final straw of trying to plead for help and support for my sons to, you know, get her to a place where it's better. And I understand that this hurts and the truth hurts and all of that. And that is not what I want. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm trying to put a perspective on it and show people that help is needed now because time is running out.
And when you say time is running out, what do you mean?
It's exactly what it sounds like. I don't want my kids waking up having to deal with the unimaginable.
Their mother might die.
Yes. There's only two ways that this ends. Two ways that this ends right now. We've seen it a million times with so many different people. And so
what are the
this
two?
is a cry
Kevin,
for
just
help.
to be clear, what are the two ways?
Either you get help or you don't.
Do you talk to Brittany at all?
I haven't spoken to her in years.
How many years?
I mean, at least 5, 6.
So when she says in this Instagram statement that she's only seen one of your sons for 45 minutes in the past 5 years, is that accurate?
No, that's not. Seen one of my sons. She saw one of my sons one day this year, and he decided not to go back over there because of what he saw. The other one, Jaden, who's my younger son, is 19 now. He's been over there quite a few times over the past year, and he stopped seeing her in the last few months because of the situation. And they're terrified, and they're worried about their mom, and they don't know how to help because of what all of this has cost.
Do you think the blaze of publicity around your book, though, is going to help, or could it be the trigger for the disastrous option that you've articulated?
I mean, I'm hoping that it helps. This is a last cry.
There was this famous Free Britney movement. A lot of people felt that she was under a damaging control from her father. And in 2021, like I said, an LA judge ruled it was no longer required after fan pressure. You say in the book that this Free Britney movement, which was a push by fans and supporters to have the conservatorship terminated, may have started from a good place, but it vilified people around Spears so intensely that now professionals with the ability to help your ex-wife may be too afraid to step in. Just explain that.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, of how this situation that's been created to where nobody knows how to navigate this situation. I don't know that there's ever been any situation like this. Lawyers, judges, anybody, they're afraid to touch it. I mean, it's such a hard thing, right? And that is another purpose of why I'm going about it this way, because there is no other way. And that has been created from that movement.
Do you talk to Brittany's father at all?
Yes, I've spoken to all of her family members.
And do they share your concern about where things have reached?
Anybody that cares and truly cares about Brittany is worried about her right now, yes.
Do you still love her, Kevin?
I mean, yes, not in love with her, but I've always had love for her. She's the mother of my children. I don't want to see anything bad happen to her. Obviously, I want her to be able to share the type of relationship that I have with our kids. You know, I mean, even Shar. I share a relationship with Shar, and she shares that relationship with our kids. I want that for Brittany. This isn't about bringing her down. This is about telling the truth and trying to build her back up.
And you said that both your sons have stopped seeing her now because of what they witnessed when they saw her. What kind of thing did they see that has really freaked them out?
I mean, look, I don't want to get into the details of, you know, her privacy. Obviously, I've said so much in my book that, you know, adding to that is not
Yeah,
gonna
but
help.
look, to be honest with you, that's where, okay, come on, Kevin. It's like you've written a whole book invading her privacy. So that ship has sailed. It's just a question of scale.
I mean-
I do think it's pertinent to her current situation, why your sons don't want to be around her. And I think it's not
Okay.
unreasonable that you've explained that to me without saying the kind of thing you're talking about.
Right, but that's not my story to tell. That's my son's story to tell if they decide to. I mean, the things that they've seen are shocking, right? So shocking that one of my sons came to me and called me and was like, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid mom is going to die. Does that help?
Yeah, and is this to do with substance abuse, or what are we talking about?
Absolutely.
'Cause
Absolutely.
You talk in the book about her doing cocaine while she was still nursing your boys when they were very young. Is it that kind of substance we're talking about?
I mean, it is that, all of it. So much more.
A variety of different drugs.
Yes.
It's a desperately sad situation. Again, critics of you, Kevin, have said that you've just done this for money. So let me just deal with that. How much are you being paid for this book?
Look, if this was about money, I would have cashed in years ago when I was being offered 7 figures to sit down with people like yourself and tell my story. You know, I would have cashed in when the story was at its height. If this was about money, I would have taken Brittany to court and demanded $100,000 a month in child support, especially when I knew she was making $50 million a year or whatever. This is not about money. And the one thing that I've learned through all of this is the most important thing to me is my family. The love I have for my kids, my wife now, and everybody that's involved in this situation. Because money cannot touch that. Material things have no meaning to me anymore in my life.
When you got divorced, the court awarded you $20,000 a month in child support and alimony of another $20,000 a month for half the duration of your marriage. And you make the point in the book, people hear figures like that, they think you're financially set. Just maintaining a home and lifestyle that matched what the boys were used to with their mother easily ran to that amount a month. Rent, security, a full-time nanny, transportation, all the other day-to-day needs of raising 2 kids in LA, as well as my 2 kids, added up fast. That money was gone almost as soon as it came in. Do you receive any money from Britney now?
No, I haven't received any money from Britney for a year at least.
For how long, sorry?
For a year at least.
So it stopped a year ago. Does she have
Yes.
much money now, do you think, or not? Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. They have countless success stories, including from some very familiar faces. England legend Michael Owen, who lost 40 pounds, AFTV's Robbie, who lost more than 100 pounds. To watch their full stories and many more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/Piers. And here's the best part. Use the code Piers and get 70% off your first order. Yes, 70% off with the code Piers.
I mean, I'm not going to dive into her finances, but who knows? I have no idea.
I mean, she has no ongoing income from touring or new material or whatever, but I guess she still gets paid a lot for records she's made in the past.
I mean, you would think so, but like I said, I don't know. I mean, that could be a dire situation as well.
What do you think, Kevin, is really at the heart of this? Was Britney always prone to mental health issues, fueled then by drug abuse, or was she basically corrupted by fame and fortune? I mean, you see this slippery path a lot with people, especially when they're young and they become big stars. They turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol, they turn to all sorts of stuff, and it can end up killing them. It can. I always think fame is one of the most lethal drugs of all. But do you think it's that was the catalyst, or were there demons there long before she became famous?
I don't know. I think honestly that it could be a little bit of both. And I agree with you 100%. I even talk about it in my book. I think that fame is the most powerful drug in the world. And it's a very dangerous place to be. I mean, I've lived through some of that myself. And, it's really, really tough. But I couldn't honestly tell you for sure, because when we were first together, things were so great, and I talk about a lot of this in my book about how incredible it was until it wasn't. And I mean, it's really hard to say if things were there before, right? I think that that's a big possibility, but I also think that the situation that she's in, with how famous that she was at such a young age, I mean, it definitely played a part. I think everything has played a part in this.
She also said on Instagram at the weekend that she may have a lot more to reveal. She said, "Trust me, there's a lot I didn't share in my book, and still things at this very moment I've kept hidden because it's incredibly painful and sad. I do feel the logic and mindfulness in my body as one was 100% murdered and destroyed. I couldn't dance or move for 5 months. I do feel like my wings were taken away and brain damage happened to me a long time ago, 100%. I have, of course, moved on from that troubling time in my life, and I'm blessed to be alive." What did you make of that when you saw it?
I mean, look, I feel that everybody has the right to tell their truth, right? But I would just make sure that it's the truth. That's what I would say.
Do you think she should be back in a conservatorship? Do you think she needs to be back in a conservatorship? Do you think the Free Britney campaign ended up having the complete opposite effect?
I do think that the campaign had the opposite effect, but I also think that if you really look at it, like, they want her at her best, right? And I think that's something that all of us can agree on. Like, we all want her at her best, and I just hope that somehow, some way it gets there. I don't have the answers. I don't know if a conservatorship is the right thing. I don't know what the answers are. I don't. I mean, that's another reason why I've gone so public with this is, we're searching for answers and we're searching for support. my sons, they, you know, I mean, that's really at the end of the day of what this whole thing is. I've done everything for my kids. I've done everything for my family. And this is a part of that. Like, what type of father am I to not try and reach out and help? And I understand that a lot of people think that this is only going to hurt. There is no other way. You have to trust me in that, because we've tried everything. We've tried to do it privately. We've tried to help her in every which way we possibly can, and everybody's been shut out. So what do?
Have your boys read the book?
My boys know everything that's in this book, yes.
And they support you with all of it?
100%.
If Brittany happens
whole family.
If Brittany happens to see this interview, Kevin, what would your message to her be?
My message to Brittany is, know that you are loved. There's so many people around that care about you. And please, please try to find your way back to the people that actually love you.
Kevin Federline, I appreciate you coming on Uncensored. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Piers.
Well, fascinating interview. I'm joined now by DJ Vlad, the cultural commentator, by Javier DeRusso, the commentator with PragerU, and Esther Krakow, Uncensored contributor, and Tyler Wells, a Free Brit.